So I want to make a little video about Brexit, because I don't feel like that's being talked about enough. First of all, preemptive, I want to say that I have nothing but respect and admiration for Theresa May. She took on the job when no one wanted it. It was a lose-lose situation to walk into. No one was coming out of that well. But she took it on anyway. She's faced attempts to oust her from the opposition, from within her own party. She's still there, still trying to do what she thinks is right. Whether I think it's right is another question. I don't. But she's still there, and I have nothing but respect for that. And my only real worry is that this will reflect poorly on female politicians and on female prime ministers, because ultimately, Thatcher's legacy wasn't a great one, and if the only other one associated with a female leader is Brexit, I really hope it doesn't hold a long-standing impact. But what I want to do in this video is try and tell you why I think we should have a second referendum. Now, hear me out, okay? The vote was the vote. It was done. The people voted. I respect that. But things have changed. This is not what anyone voted for at all. We are rifling through Brexit secretaries like there's no fucking tomorrow. If you're watching this and you haven't been Brexit secretary, your letter's probably in the post. I think it's your turn next. We're really cycling through them. And the one we've got at the moment doesn't even know what deals we're meant to protect and not protect, because he hasn't read half of the fucking deals that we've got in place. We're in a lose-lose situation. Okay, we are up shit creek with no paddle, no boat, a mounting collection of rocks in our shoes. Oh, and we've just remembered we can't swim either. It's really not good, is the truth of the situation. Because here's the thing, okay? We're in a situation now where the best possible outcome is nothing changes. Now, you would think maybe as a Remain vote, which I don't know if I give it away, but I am, might be a good thing, because nothing's changed, right? I made a prediction in 2016, before the referendum took place, that the outcome of Brexit would be that we'd still have to make trade deals within the EU, we'd still have to follow EU laws, and all that we'd do is lose the right to vote on them. And currently, that is the best case scenario. So we've lost the right to vote, but also we've put ourselves through 3 years of shit, where we always knew the government and politicians were inept and incompetent, but we really highlighted that in a special way, and we deserve credit for that, okay? Not only that, we've polarised the nation, we've broken apart friends and families, and we've brought to the forefront and out in the public a relatively large amount of xenophobia and racism. So, overall, I would say, not a great 3 years. And that's the best case scenario, because the other scenario is the Prime Minister's current deal, and that's not going to get any better, because the EU, look, okay, they don't want to see anyone suffer, but they kind of do. They want to deter anyone from breaking away from the Union, so they're never going to give us a favourable deal. And here's the thing. Look, I'm not going to get into the whole why I think you should vote Remain. That's not what this is about. Okay, so I'm going to stop myself before I tangent off on that. But a second referendum is fair. This isn't what we voted for. None of this is what's happened. The catastrophe fuck that's gone on. Okay? And the fact is, the opposition whilst to the Prime Minister's deal is Jeremy Corbyn. She's faced serious fighting from her own party, where they've tried to out, they've taken a vote of no confidence. She's lost big votes in Parliament by quite big numbers. We could have painted her fucking face on an egg and put it as the leader of the Labour Party, and it would have walked into power. The fact that he can't take power from this government is very indicative of how good a leader Jeremy Corbyn is. And quite frankly, he should step down for the good of all of us. The whole thing of having two parties going head to head is that you have to have them be able to keep the other in check. The Tory party have been out of control during these Brexit negotiations, and Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party under him have offered nothing. And none of that was voted for. When David Cameron first said, let's leave the European Union, do you want to leave? Well, guess what? None of this was foreseeable. Of course it wasn't. Both sides, Remain and Leave, would both change their votes, and some would say the same, some wouldn't. But the fact is, enough people would change their votes that we deserve a second referendum. There's really not much more I can say without rambling. If you've listened this far, well done. I mean, I'll give you a sticker, maybe, if I've got one. But seriously, consider it, because this Friday, we were due to leave the European Union, and we are as close to leaving it with any kind of deal set up as we were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even before the notion of leaving Europe even was considered. So, a second referendum, I think, is the only fair part of a democratic process, of the democratic process. We deserve a second referendum. The people need to vote on what the situation is now,